So you're still using VMware, but you're weighing your options. Let's talk about life after VMware and what your next chapter could look like. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Cloud Sherpa, where we aim to provide practical advice and knowledge about cloud services, including cloud computing, AI, cybersecurity, communications, contact centers, you name it. We'll dive into some of the business technology reviews, and we'll talk about news and what's happening in the business technology world, and maybe even some obscure topics that, well, we just like to talk about. But today we're doing a follow-up to a video we did a couple of weeks ago where we talked about the massive licensing changes at VMware. We discussed what was changing and the fact that businesses may need to start weighing their options. But we didn't really get into what those options are. So if you watch that video, you know things are getting a little dicey. And if you didn't watch it, I would encourage you to watch that one first. It might provide a little clarity and context to what we're doing today. So let's jump right in and talk about some of the best VMware alternatives and what might make sense for your business. So if you're a small or mid-market business still using VMware, you get it. Broadcom didn't just raise the bar, they pulled the ladder up behind them. Perpetual licensing is dead, prices are climbing, and partners are getting ghosted. If you're not an enterprise whale, good luck. But now, if you're ready to start looking to diversify, the hypervisor market has viable players. Some may be familiar, some may be underrated, and some of the solutions we're going to talk about may just be straight up better depending on your tech stack. So let's talk about 5 of the top options in the market today. And look, these are in no particular order because, frankly, what's right for your business may not be right for another business. It really all depends on what your needs are and what you're trying to achieve. So let's start with Proxmox VE, because honestly, it's one of the most talked about alternatives for folks who want out of VMware without selling a kidney. So what is Proxmox? Proxmox is a very powerful open source virtualization platform built on top of kernel-based virtual machines, or KVMs, and Linux containers. That means you get the best of both worlds, traditional VM hosting and lightweight containerized workloads, all through a slick browser-based interface. It also includes built-in clustering, high availability, live migration, backups, firewall management, and even role-based user access. And yes, it's free to use. You only pay if you want enterprise support. So let's talk about what makes it different. The main thing that sets Proxmox apart is that you're not locked into a giant vendor. It's lean, open source, and designed for admins who want more control over their environment without all the licensing complexity that VMware is pushing lately. And the user interface, it's surprisingly clean. It's no Nutanix, but for a free tool, it punches way above its weight. So here's some of the pros and cons. Pros. Well, number 1, it's completely open source and free to use. 2, it supports both VMs and containers natively. Also, you'll find an active community and regular updates. And also it comes with built-in clustering, backups, and live migration. And lastly, no vendor lock-in. The cons, well, it requires strong Linux skills. This isn't plug and play for Windows-centric teams. There's no large vendor support out of the box unless you pay for enterprise repository access that includes stable updates. Additionally, the ecosystem is smaller compared to VMware or Nutanix. And lastly, integration with major enterprise tools like backup appliances or monitoring suites can be a bit more DIY effort. So the bottom line for Proxmox, if you've got a Linux-friendly team and you want flexibility without a huge licensing cost, Proxmox might be exactly what you're looking for. It's powerful, it's stable, and it doesn't come with pricing drama. Next up is Hyper-V, Microsoft's built-in hypervisor that comes free with Windows Server. Hyper-V is Microsoft's virtualization platform. It's included in most editions of Windows Server and integrates deeply with the Microsoft ecosystem. If your enterprise is already running Active Directory, Microsoft SQL, or Exchange, you probably already have it installed. And it works natively with the tools like System Center and Windows Admin Center. You get all the basic live migration snapshots, replication, clustering, and PowerShell automation. So what makes it different? Well, unlike VMware, Hyper-V doesn't require a separate license. If you're running Windows Server Data Center Edition, you're already licensed for unlimited virtual machines. That makes it a great go-to for budget-conscious IT teams in Microsoft-heavy environments. It's not flashy, but it's practical and stable. So here's the pros and cons. Pros? Well, for one, it's free with Windows Server. I like free. 2, it's got deep integration with Microsoft tools like Azure Active Directory and System Center. Also, Hyper-V is mature, it's stable, and enterprise ready. It also comes with great management tools, including a pretty good GUI and PowerShell. It's a good option for hybrid cloud setups with Azure Arc. So what are the cons of Hyper-V? Well, for one, it's not Linux friendly, meaning you'll have limited support for non-Windows workloads. It has a smaller virtualization ecosystem compared to VMware. Also, you'll find less innovation around modern orchestration and APIs. And lastly, when it comes to Hyper-V, the user interface and experience may feel a bit dated compared to newer platforms. Bottom line, if you're a Microsoft shop through and through, Hyper-V gives you a solid, cost-effective way to virtualize your infrastructure without adding licensing complexity. Just don't expect it to shine outside of that Microsoft world. Next up, Nutanix AHV, short for Acropolis Hypervisor. You gotta love these marketing names they come up with. But if you want a clean, scalable, all-in-one infrastructure without VMware headaches, this one's worth a look. So what is Nutanix AHV? AHV is part of Nutanix hyper-converged infrastructure platform. It bundles compute, storage, networking, and virtualization into a unified software layer that runs on commodity hardware. The beauty here is simplicity. Nutanix Prism gives you a single web interface to manage everything: virtual machines, storage, snapshots, replication, you name it. AHV is technically free when you license the Nutanix stack, meaning there's no separate hypervisor license like with VMware. But let's talk about why it's different. Nutanix is about hyperconvergence and ease of use. You're not stitching together parts. You're running an entire infrastructure platform that's built to work together. It's ideal for mid to large size enterprises who want to modernize without reinventing the wheel. So what are the pros and cons when it comes to Nutanix? Well, pros: it comes with a unified infrastructure that includes compute, storage, and virtualization all in one platform. It also has an extremely clean UI with Prism, Nutanix's web-based management interface. Nutanix also has strong support, automation, and orchestration tools. Additionally, there are no separate hypervisor licensing costs. Lastly, it's a great fit for scale-out workloads in private cloud. So now let's talk about some of the cons. Number 1, you're going to pay for the full Nutanix stack. This isn't a budget play. Also, there's limited flexibility outside of the Nutanix hardware and software ecosystem. Nutanix has a smaller third-party ecosystem compared to VMware as well. And lastly, it could be a hefty migration effort if you're moving from VMware or Hyper-V, so you'll probably want a skilled team that can help. Bottom line, Nutanix AHV is built for IT leaders who want simplicity, scale, and predictable cost in one box. It's not open source or cheap, but it's elegant and enterprise ready. If you're thinking containers, Kubernetes, and cloud native, but still need to run legacy VMs, Harvester might check every box. So what is Harvester? Harvester is a modern open source hypervisor built by SUSE. I think that's how they pronounce their name. It uses a kernel-based virtual machine integrated tightly with Rancher for Kubernetes management, probably because SUSE actually acquired Rancher back in December of 2020. But that's another story. Anyway, it's designed for teams that want to run both VMs and containers in the same environment with unified orchestration and minimal complexity. It includes native storage via Longhorn, their built-in storage component, another cute marketing name, as well as integrated networking and a clean dashboard to manage everything. So what makes Harvester different? Well, unlike most hypervisors, Harvester is Kubernetes first. It treats your virtual machines like cloud-native resources. So if you're already using Rancher or exploring edge computing, this bridges the old world and the new, and it's 100% open source. So let's talk about some pros and cons. Well, number 1, Harvester includes VM and container support in one tool. 2, it's also open source and free. Thirdly, it's integrated with Rancher and Kubernetes. Another great pro is it comes with built-in storage, networking, and monitoring. And lastly, it's simple to deploy on commodity hardware. So what are the cons when it comes to Harvester? Well, Harvester is still maturing. It's not as battle-tested in large enterprises. Also, you'll find limited third-party integrations compared to VMware and Nutanix. It also requires Kubernetes familiarity to get the most out of it. And lastly, the Harvester community support isn't as deep yet. Bottom line, if you're a forward-looking team embracing cloud native but still have traditional workloads, Harvester gives you a next-gen experience without vendor bloat. It may be ideal for greenfield build-outs and edge deployments. Last on the list, the open cloud orchestration platforms, i.e. OpenStack, CloudStack, and OpenNebula. These aren't just hypervisors, they're full-scale cloud platforms. So what are they really? These tools let you build your own private cloud infrastructure that rivals AWS or Azure, but fully on-prem and under your control. OpenStack is the heavyweight. It's designed for hyperscaler environments and service providers. CloudStack is simpler and more GUI focused. And then there's OpenNebula, which is the lightest and easiest to deploy, and great for edge and hybrid cloud use cases. All of them can manage VMs, storage, networking, and user access through a self-service portal and APIs. So what makes them different? Well, these aren't just replacements for ESXi. They're replacements for VMware Cloud Foundation, vCenter, and everything else layered on top. They're ideal for companies that need complete control with multi-tenancy, automation, and cloud-like capabilities, all without public cloud price tag. So what are the open cloud platform pros and cons? Pros, you have total control over your infrastructure. Second, they're open source and extensible. Third, you're going to find strong community and enterprise options. Also, it's highly scalable and multi-tenant capable. And lastly, it's ideal for service providers and regulated industries. So here's some of the cons to open cloud platforms. Number one, very high complexity. You're going to need skilled engineers to deploy and run it. Also, it's slower to stand up compared to traditional hypervisors. Then there's the risk of overkill for small to mid-sized environments. And lastly, support varies by implementation and distribution. Bottom line, when it comes to open cloud platforms, if you're building a private cloud or replacing a full VMware stack, not just a hypervisor, this is where you go. But go in with your eyes wide open. These platforms are powerful, but they are not turnkey. So look, these are only 5 options that we're highlighting today. The good news is there are some really great VMware alternatives out there, so do your homework. If you need help, contact us here at Focal Point Consulting. We'll not only help you find the right solution, but we'll also help you negotiate the contract and project manage the installation and migration. And if you've already migrated off VMware to another platform, we would love to know what's worked for you. How is your business doing post VMware? As always, guys, if you like the content we're creating here, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we can keep producing content like this. Thanks for tuning in to Cloud Sherpa, Luke 923.